And we'll obviously have more on that story as it develops later in the programme. Now, tax avoidance by Google is simply wrong. That's according to the Labour leader, Ed Miliband, who's accused the internet giant of fostering a culture of irresponsibility. At a big tent event hosted by Google outside London, Mr Miliband pledged to stop firms from legally avoiding the tax rules by shifting profits between countries. The Google boss, Eric Schmidt, who wasn't there to hear the speech, insisted the company would abide by the letter of the law. Here's our business correspondent, Sarah Smith.
Everyone is talking about tax today. It's a row that shows where the power lies in a global economy, and it's not with either of these men. David Cameron came to Brussels to try and get international agreement on new tax rules, while Ed Miliband was in Google's big tent, telling them they're behaving as badly as the big banks before the financial crash.
And when Google goes to extraordinary lengths to avoid paying its taxes, I say it's wrong.
But the Google boss wasn't there to hear him. And when Eric Schmidt popped into Downing Street on Monday, the Prime Minister didn't mention Google's tax affairs.
Do you think anything you've had to say today is going to make any difference? Are companies like Google susceptible to political or moral pressure?
I think political pressure can change their behaviour. Look, these companies don't like it when politicians call them out on what they're doing. And I think David Cameron was wrong to just pass up the opportunity to say to Eric Schmidt that what he was doing was wrong. When you see a company going to extraordinary lengths to avoid paying their taxes, and that's what they're doing, and they're making no bones about it, then I think it's right that we speak out.
In 2011, Google made sales worth £3.2 billion in the UK. Yet they paid only £6 million in corporation tax. That's less than 1% of their UK revenues.
Google have been called immoral and evil by politicians. The leader of the opposition came here to tell them in person they're doing the wrong thing. But Google, just like Amazon, Apple and Starbucks, all say they are obeying the letter of the law. And they clearly have no intention of changing their behaviour until politicians stop moralising about tax avoidance and change the rules.
David Cameron says he is leading the charge to change those rules. It's not something Britain can tackle alone. He wants other countries to get on board at next month's G8 meeting and agree to force companies to publish the amount of tax they pay in each country, reform so-called transfer pricing to stop companies shifting their profits around the world, and crack down on tax havens.
No government in the world can move fast enough to catch up with some of the practices that are put in place by some businesses and individuals. And so there is if you like, a moral issue to this. There is an issue that companies have to make decisions about themselves.
Google have made their decision, and it's to carry on paying as little tax as they can. Google do want to be liked. They want us to think they're fun because they let you play tunes on bananas. They hate the damage this row is doing to their reputation, but it hasn't yet damaged their business, and until it does, they will not consider changing their tax arrangements.